just started this and I was like sitting really close to the screen, so it was like right here. I'm like, whoa. Back up off the pores. Hello, welcome to my videos. Please disregard my hair. I washed it yesterday and it does this the next day. How are you? I feel like this week has been incredibly long and we are only halfway through it. There's been a lot going on and I have been incredibly busy, and that's great. And then over the last couple of days, I have tried to find things within my computer, and let me just tell you, they were not organized appropriately. And this led me to the conclusion that I'm going to end. This is something that I have known about myself for quite some time. So it's not like it's new. This is not a new revelation. This is just something that I'm really coming to grips with. And the fact that I have a few hard drives, like external hard drives with stuff on them. And none of it's organized. Yay. So I think what I am committing to doing over the next couple of months is spending time organizing these things. Not all day. I'm literally gonna set a timer for 15 minutes and then just go in and start naming things or moving things around in a way that makes sense. But even though I'm going to go through that amount of hell, I wanted to come up with a system for myself and also share it with you as to what you may do in the future so that you can keep this from getting out of hand. And I just wrote a blog post kind of detailing what the options are and what my recommendations are. And now what we are going to do is go through kind of a visual representation of what I'm talking about and show you how it would relate to something such as ClickUp. So here we go. Are you ready? Let's take a little stroll, shall we? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and share my whole, not the desktop. Oh yeah, I am. Okay. Go ahead and share my whole desktop. And then let's go ahead and move me here and move this here. And then, actually, let's just go ahead and get rid of this altogether. Okay, so what I've done here is basically, there's way too many things on my desktop right now. What I've done is create a folder within on my desktop, and it's labeled 2020. Now, what I'm going to do is basically go in here, and I've got, let me show you my content library for now. And this one is obviously done. So within my content library, I've got within ClickUp, I've got content as the name, and then I've got my categories. And this is kind of essential because it would be good for you to know what you're doing as far as things that are already written, things that have been published even, and then things you still need to write or create videos for. And then you will know exactly how many posts you have so that you can continue to release content on a pretty consistent basis. Now, I've talked a lot about on the blog and in some of my videos and on Facebook and in general and out into the world that we need to be repeating ourselves, because the people who we are talking to and trying to reach, this is not their zone of genius. This is not their everyday thing that they are constantly researching, constantly learning, constantly thinking about. It's not their path. I really hate Zone of Genius. It makes me want to slap myself for saying it. But this is how that works, okay? Now, what does that mean? That means that about once a quarter, you should be recycling your content. Now, the cool thing about that is that you're not having to constantly come up with new content. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is create content, put it out into the world, and then once a quarter, you're going to go back in, you're going to refresh, you're going to update with new changes, or you're going to scrap it and start over if you want, or come up with something new. If you're using a new tool, obviously, when I stopped using Asana, I stopped making videos and content about Asana. And when I stopped using, well, I still use Trello for some things. For me, this concept of being able to see how many posts I have and organize them by tags on individual tasks, I can tag them. Like this one is for a freebie. There's a couple. I have a promo thing that is just solid promos, which I probably ought to tag this while I'm sitting here talking about it. And then if I go into, this one's a promo. See how they're, and then I can pull up all my promo posts if it's a time to do a promo. What I would do is go here, and then I'm going to sort by a tag. I want to find a specific tag. Well, that was more promo things than I want. Somewhere in here is a way, and it's been a while, and I have to go back in here and really find them. Let's see, tags. Let's just try this. There we go. So these have no tags at all. These are my freebie and promo. That's just freebie, and this is all my promos. So here we know that for sure I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 promos, right? So if we get out of that and go back to status, we're here. Now, personally, I would create tags for every month of the year. Instead of putting them into a category over here as a month, I would create a tag. So when you're gonna, any post that you do in January, you're going to tag in January. But then you also have these images in these files that you're using for different months. Now, obviously, if it's something like this and you don't change this picture very often, like the new blog post alert is just that color and that image, and people are used to seeing that, and you don't have a different background kind of thing that you're using, then you just leave that alone. But all of these images where we're clearly and consistently showing different images, we're going to put those images into folders. It doesn't look like I did images for those. We're going to put those images, sorry, I had to move me around, into a folder system. And you can do this one of two ways, as I stated in the article, and I'll leave a link to that below if you want to go and read it. But essentially, you can do this kind of organization once a week, or you can do it once a month. on your CEO day. And I'll do a whole video on what a CEO day is, but it's basically a day that you work on your business rather than in it. And if you are doing a lot of admin tasks at this time, one time a month, you're going to basically put a folder within your downloads folder here. You would have a business images folder, and then you're going to open that, put all of the content in there that you download, so that once you're ready, you're basically your home screen isn't going to look like mine right now. And once a month, you're going to go into that folder and start manipulating these things. So obviously, and the reason you would want to do this once a month and not once a quarter is, one, you're going to go in there and rename things appropriately. You are going to know that those things were published within January, and so you're going to move them into the January folder. And then once you're done with this, you could do once a quarter, you could do a mass upload, although I would probably suggest once a month also for this, that you would do a mass upload to Google Drive or Dropbox or wherever it is you're keeping files. And then you're going to delete them off of here or move them permanently into another folder on an external hard drive that is called 2020, and you have all of the months of the year. Now, the cool thing about this is that when you go into, let's say you posted something in January and you are going to, so that's first quarter, is here, and then second quarter you're going to come in here and you're going to go, okay, everything from January, I'm going to post about this in May, I'm going to post about this in April, and I'm going to post about this in June, and you can kind of spread things out again. But you're going in there and you're pulling the images that you need. They're not on your computer. They are easily discovered and found within either Google Drive or your external hard drive. It's magical. And the reason that you would have those things in two places is because in all of my time using Google, which is now, gosh, probably since its inception or slightly after its inception, like its full launch, I've been using Gmail, and for sure in the last 10 years I have used, or whenever Google Drive was announced, I was like, heck yeah, it's already like, let me at it, right? So I've only in that time period of, let's say, 7 to 10 years, only had problems with it one time. Only one time has that ever happened, but that one time might be the time that you need something, right? And it's always just better to have a backup of all of your stuff on an external hard drive. It's just good practice. And vice versa. I've had problems with external hard drives, so it's good to have a backup in a digital place. There are places like Blackblaze and I can't remember, there are a couple of others. They will actually do backups of your entire hard drive automatically. You pay per year and it's really reasonable, but it backs up your entire computer so that if anything ever happens to your computer, which I did have that issue with this Mac years ago and my other Mac, and I did lose everything. But I have had issues with this Mac. Thankfully, I had most of the stuff on an external hard drive. But Blackblaze, because you've spent all this money per year, which is, I think it's like $50 or $80 a year or something like that. It's really, really reasonable for a business. They will send you a hard drive, an external hard drive with a copy of all of your data on it. And all you have to do is load it back into the new computer or the fixed computer that you have. And this is kind of essential, especially if you're dealing in graphics and videos and all of the things. If I showed you how many Zoom folders I had. Here, I'll give you a sneak peek. This is just my Zoom folder. Like, I really, really need to go through, and this is not all of them. This is just the ones that I've got right now. I've got 2 or 3 years worth of Zooms on an external hard drive. So this is just one way that you would keep all of this stuff. And obviously this stuff should be organized and labeled as well. The rule of thumb that I'm about to instill in myself is that when I download something, I immediately go in there and rename it, because if I showed you my business image folder, it's all untitled this or that or the third, and it's not labeled well at all. Like, it's going to take me a good bit of time to get this all squared away. And that's really, really concerning. Anyway, do not do what I have done to myself and make your life this hard, because it doesn't need to be this hard. Okay. Anyway, I hope this really helps you kind of figure out exactly what you're going to do. One other way that you could do this, if you were, is come in here and have these individual folders, but then also have them within a quarter folder, so that when you go in here, the only thing that you're really having to look at is, hey, here is the first quarter folder. And if you want to know how I got these all to line up in a row and not be out of order, if you're on a Mac, you're going to go by sort by and then just say snap to grid, and it will get everything in a line and then not look totally ridiculous, which took me a little bit to figure out, but I got there. So I hope you guys have a good day. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that that's what happened last night, you will be able to figure out the best solution for you and your business. If you need help with that, that's totally something that I do. And I'd love to help you figure your stuff out the way I am figuring out my own stuff. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.